So you've probably heard the term Web3 thrown around a lot lately. It's everywhere, right? People are calling it the next big evolution of the internet. But what does that actually mean? Well, today we're going to demystify it. We're going to break down what it is, how it works, and why it might just change, well, everything. Let's dive in.
Let me start with a pretty wild question. What if you owned the internet? I don't mean the whole thing, but your little corner of it, your data, your online identity, your digital stuff. Not some giant tech company, just you. That one idea, that right there is the entire promise of Web3. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll take a quick trip through the internet's history. Then we'll get into the real promise of Web3. We'll look at the tech that makes it all tick, see what it actually means to own your digital world, and, super important, we'll cover how you can start exploring all this stuff safely. First things first, to really get what Web3 is all about, we have to look back. The internet has basically gone through three big phases, and understanding them makes everything click. It's a journey from just reading stuff online to interacting with it, and now to actually owning it. Think of it like this. Web 1, back in the 90s, was like a giant digital encyclopedia. It was read-only. You could look stuff up, but that was about it. Then, around 2004, Web 2 showed up. That's the internet we all know and use today, the social internet. We can both read and write. We create profiles, post photos, share our thoughts. But now, Web 3 is adding that final crucial layer, own. So what's wrong with the internet we have now? Well, it all comes down to control. Just a handful of massive companies run the whole show. They control our data, they take a huge cut from creators, and ultimately, they have the power to censor or just kick you off their platform whenever they want. And this table just lays it out perfectly. Look at that first row, can you own? For Web 1 and Web 2, it's a big fat no. But with Web 3, it's a yes. And look at data control. It shifts from companies and platforms directly to you, the user. Even the money system changes, moving from traditional banks to native digital currencies. And this brings us right to the heart of it all, the big promise of Web 3. It's really about rebalancing the scales, you know? It's about taking the power and control away from the giants and giving it back to the people who actually build, create, and live on the internet, us. So if you had to boil it down to one sentence, what is Web3? It's an internet built on a new kind of technology called the blockchain, and it's designed so that you, the user, can actually own your own data, your own identity, and your own digital assets. The power shifts from the institutions back to the individual. Now, this is all possible because of a few core ideas. It's decentralized, which just means there's no single company in charge. It's trustless, meaning you don't need a middleman like a bank to approve things. It's permissionless, so anyone can join in and build on it. And of course, it's all built around the ideas of real ownership and transparency. Okay, but how? How does any of this actually work? Sounds kind of like magic, right? Well, let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine of Web3. These are the core technologies that are making this whole user-owned internet a reality. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the blockchain. The simplest way to think about it is like a global digital record book that's shared by thousands of computers. Information gets stored in these blocks that are all chained together. And here's the key part. Once something is recorded in that book, it's permanent and visible to everyone. You can't just go back and secretly change it. That's what makes it so secure. This chart shows the fundamental difference. In today's Web 2 world, all your data for, say, a social media app lives on that one company's servers. That's a central point of failure. If they get hacked, your data is gone. In Web 3, that data is spread out across a huge network of computers all over the world. There's no single point to attack, which makes the whole system way more resilient. And most importantly, you control your data, not them. Let's make this super practical. Think about a company like Uber. In the Web 2 model, Uber is the middleman. They control the app, they set the prices, they take a huge cut from the driver. A Web 3 version would just be a network that connects drivers and riders directly. The rules and prices are set in code, a smart contract, and with no company in the middle taking a slice, the driver makes more and the rider could even pay less. So, if you can actually own things in this new digital world, what does that look like in practice? This next part is all about the actual tools of the trade. We're going to talk about NFTs, digital wallets, and something called dApps. All right, NFTs. You've definitely heard of them. For a second, just forget all the hype and the crazy headlines. At its absolute core, an NFT is just a digital certificate of ownership. It's a permanent record on that blockchain we talked about that proves you, and only you,
own a specific digital thing. It could be art, it could be music, or it could be a rare sword in a video game.
Gaming is probably the easiest way to see why this is a game changer. In a normal Web2 game, you might spend real money on a cool outfit or skin, but you don't actually own it. The game company does. They can take it away if they ban you. In a Web3 game, that skin is an NFT that you own. It's in your possession. No one can take it from you, and you can sell it or trade it whenever you want. It's yours.
So where do you keep all these digital assets you own? You keep them in a Web3 wallet. This thing is your passport to the new internet. It's kind of your bank account, your ID, and your digital safe deposit box all rolled into one. And the most important part is that you control it with a secret master password, usually called a seed phrase. This is the key to your entire digital life in Web3.
Your wallet really has two keys. The public key is like your bank account number. It's totally fine to share that with people so they can send you stuff. But the private key, that is like your ATM pin. You guard that with your life. It must always be kept secret because whoever knows it has complete and total control over your wallet and everything in it.
And finally, the apps you use in Web3 are called D-apps, which is short for decentralized applications. They might look and feel just like the apps on your phone, but they're built differently. They run on the blockchain itself, not on some company's private server. That means they're open, they're transparent, and they can't just be shut down by one single person or company.
All right, you get the concepts, you see the potential, and now you might be a little curious to actually check it out. This brings us to probably the most important topic of all, how to take your first steps into this new internet safely and without getting burned. Here is a simple 5-step guide. Number 1. Set up a reputable wallet and secure that seed phrase. I mean it. Write it down, put it somewhere safe offline. 2. Start with a very small amount of crypto just to get the feel for it. 3. Only explore dApps that are well-known and trusted. 4. Do your own research before you buy anything. And 5. Learn how to spot and avoid scams. And believe me, the scams are everywhere. You have to be so careful of phishing links that take you to fake websites, fake wallet apps in the app stores, and a huge one is anyone pretending to be support staff who slides into your DMs asking for your seed phrase. A real company will never, ever ask you for that.
So here's the bottom line. In Web3, you are your own bank, which is awesome, but it also means you are your own head of security. Your absolute best protection is knowledge and a healthy dose of skepticism. And always remember the old saying, if something sounds way too good to be true, it absolutely is.
And that really brings us to our final thought here. Web3 is so much more than just fancy new technology and code. It's really a movement. It represents a fundamental shift in how we think about ownership, community, and power online. It's not just a technical upgrade, it's a step towards a more open, fair, and user-owned digital future. Thanks for joining me.